Hello everyone, this is Anshu. I'm super excited to be here with you today at Murfest. I love this offering that Murfest is creating about this offering of gratitude and bringing the tribe together. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here. I'm going to just quickly introduce myself. My name is Anshu. And I am an author of a book called Pressure to Pleasure. It's right here. And Pressure to Pleasure, it has like a 7-pillar pathway into shifting your state from a state of stress and pressure into a state of, let's call it like feeling alive and pleasure. And I'm also a yoga teacher and a meditation teacher, and I host cacao ceremonies and breathwork sessions as well. Today what I thought I will do is I wanted to share with you some practical ways in order, for us to manage our state. So what is happening? Of course, there is so much happening around in the world. There's a lot of fear. We are locked down. A lot of us are inside our homes. We're not getting to go outside. And what this can do is it can create like a stress and pressure in our minds, right? And it can bring our state to be a little bit lower state. And we want to make sure that we keep our state at a level that we don't go spiraling downward and downward. That we can stay, like no matter what, we can just stay in our center and stay present with what is happening. So I'll be sharing with you some of the really tools that I use myself on a daily basis. Like one of my teachers said, the teachers are humans too, right? So for me also, like sometimes I feel like this is like getting to me. So I use some of these tools for myself. And these tools are all part of my book. And they have been used, for thousands of years by people. Because, as you know, that things keep on happening in the world. This is just the way of life that sometimes things will be amazing and sometimes things will not be amazing. So it's really important to know how to be in that state where no matter what is happening around you, you are in your center. And in yogic philosophy, there's a term called equanimity. You may know this. In Sanskrit, it's called samta. Equanimity or samta is that state of balance. A state where no matter what is going on in the outside world, you stay centered to yourself. And so these are some of the techniques that I'll be sharing with you pretty soon. As you join the call, I invite you to, ask me questions. You can put some comments down below, and that would be super amazing. So that way I can interact with you. If you have any questions or if something is not clear, please do ask me, okay? I love having interaction. So please don't be shy to put a comment. And if you like something that I'm sharing, put a comment too. So that would really mean a lot to me. So let's just get started. Dive into the topic right away. And so one of the things that I want to tell you is, as we dive into this topic, is this idea of stress and pressure. Like, where does it come from, right? Pressure is something, the pressure that we have, it could be something external event that is happening, right? For example, of course, with coronavirus, that is a big external pressure that we all have collectively. But otherwise, you could have a pressure, like an external pressure of your job, of your commute, of your relationships, like whatever it is that is going on in your life, that our environment can cause stress and pressure. And the way we can get out of that state of pressure is, of course, by making a change in that external environment. But another big cause of stress and pressure is something that happens within us. It is our conditioning, what we have been taught. So some people, for example, can feel guilty just like that, right? And some people, no matter what is happening, they don't even feel any guilt. Some people get very scared to take risks. Some people, it doesn't matter. They would put all their money, gamble it away, and take a risk, right? So that is our inner conditioning, and our inner conditioning can make us feel stressed as well, especially around this time. So some people may be feeling really scared of death at this time. Some people are feeling very scared of getting sick. Some people are feeling very scared of somebody else getting sick. So these are all our inner, and some people are probably saying, oh, it's fine, what can I do to work on my business at these times because I'm under lockdown? So we are all different, right? What I invite you to do is take few moments, let's just all take few moments right now and tune into yourself and really go into your inner state. What is your inner state like right now? And if you want, you can grab a paper and pencil, and you can do this at later time as well, and just write down about this state. How are you feeling from the inside? And be honest with yourself. That is the most important thing, to be honest with how you're feeling, and to also be honest with yourself and to accept wherever you are. It's okay to feel fear. It's okay to feel depressed at this time. And of course, so many of us are losing our incomes as well. So of course that causes stress. But really be truthful to yourself. Where is your emotional state right now? So there are many methods that I want to share with you today. The first method is really, as I already talked about, is accepting wherever you are, however you are feeling, and really loving yourself through this process. Now, what does that mean? Self-love is such a cliche right now, especially in the spiritual communities. But a lot of people get lost with, what does it mean to love myself or to accept myself? So as I said, one of the important thing is to really, as part of self-acceptance, is to accept wherever you are, however you are feeling, right? And then another big part of self-acceptance self-acceptance is to be authentic with yourself and with your loved ones. Being authentic doesn't mean you're feeling angry and now you're going to start getting upset with your loved ones. Being authentic means just, expressing yourself consciously, but really talking about your emotions, not like sweeping your emotions under the rug and saying, oh, everything is okay, right? So really feeling wherever you are, being authentic with yourself, and at the same time, thank you, Zanita. I'm so glad that you're watching here with me. Stay tuned in. There's a lot of good material coming. So yes, as I was saying, being authentic, and then also nurturing yourself, right? So a lot of us, our immune systems goes down because of all the external stuff that is going on. So this is a time to really know what is it that you're putting in your body. So when we are stressed, maybe we want to drink a glass of wine. Maybe if you're a smoker, maybe you're smoking more. Maybe if you have a tendency to eat unhealthy, you may have noticed that you're eating extra unhealthy right now. No matter what is going on, really be mindful of what you're putting in your body. That is a big, big act of self-love. Your body is like your temple, right? And now in this temple, you really want to put in, what is right for you. Not from here, not from your mind, but really nurturing and listening to what your body needs. And this is the time to put in really good quality food in your body, and and just be mindful of what your unhealthy habits at this time. So that is the second part of really loving and nurturing yourself. The third part is kind of like connecting with others. So we're all under a lockdown right now, right? But making some effort to find connection with other people, connection with, it could be like what you're doing right now, like watching this live. So you're learning something new, and learning and feeding our mind with positive stuff goes a long way. So keep connecting with people, and continue to nurture yourself. Now coming into yeah, and also I just want to say one thing, that don't beat yourself up at this time. So sometimes, again, we make a mistake and we have a tendency to beat ourselves up and feel guilty or feel shameful. This is not the time for doing that. This is the time to really accept yourself wherever you are. And anytime you feel like some sort of feeling of guilt or beating yourself up coming up, give yourself a hug, because again, we are not giving other people a hug, so at least you can take some time to give yourself a hug, give yourself a self-massage, and just, do whatever feels good to you to take even better care of yourself. Okay, so now I'm going to move into the second pillar. So this self-love and acceptance is the first pillar in the book, and there are many other exercises here that you can read, or if you choose to get the book, it's very, very cheap on Kindle, so you can get it at any time. The second pillar is about emotions, and I've already been talking about emotions. This whole talk is about emotions. So it is really, really, really important at this time that you stay connected with your emotions. Not just if difficult emotions arises, and a lot of times what people do is maybe you go and start to browse your Facebook. Maybe you go sit in front of TV. Maybe you go start to browse Instagram. Yes, these are some ways to get out of that stuckness, but that's not a good solution. The solution is to really sit with your emotions. If you need to cry, cry. It's okay to cry. If you are feeling fearful or angry at something, it's okay. All of our plans have changed, right? So again, of course, anger is going to come. Accept that emotion within yourself and just be present with it. And one of the techniques that works really, really well, it's been proven over and over again, is to journal and to write about what is coming up for you. And as you start to write, you can ask yourself this question: so why is this happening? Why do I feel this way? And another thing you can do is you can also work on shifting your perspective and looking for goodness in this situation. Goodness is in your personal situation. And of course, you have already probably seen it. There are so many reports coming around right now of what is happening with the nature right now, how nature is flourishing because humans are inside, right? So there is goodness even in this difficult time. So I invite you to think about what is the goodness in your life. Maybe in your life, you're connecting deeper with your friends and family. Maybe you're learning something that you wouldn't have learned otherwise. Maybe you're giving yourself a break from working so hard all the time. No matter what it is, I invite you to start to find some goodness in your life. And what I want to share now is, once you journal and you really go, connect with your emotions, think about especially I want to share with you one particular technique that works so well for me in order to release the fear and anger, especially. For sadness, it's good to cry, totally good solution, right? But for fear and anger, I'm going to stand up here and I'll share this breath with you. And you can try this with me, or you can try this at an earlier time, and you can share this with your friends and family as well. Let me just quickly adjust my phone so you can see this. So this is called a chopping wood breath. So you can stand with your feet hip width distance. You can make your two hands together like this, like you have, so like you're standing like this, your knees are loose, and it goes like this. You take a big breath and ha! I'll do this few more times. Even now, just for one breath like this, I already felt like a surge of energy. So let me do this few more times here. So big breath, inhale, 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 and ha! Inhale, and ha! And what you could do this, I just did it about 3 times, and I already felt the center, this power center getting activated, right here. And again, you can do this at any time that you're feeling like you're low on energy and you have fear coming up and you're not feeling so good. Just really go ahead and do this breath, and you would notice how this power center, the belly, kind of gets activated. One really important word of caution as you try this breath is to not do it from the throat, but make the sound. Like, you can try this, before you do this breath, you can put your hand on your belly and you do ha. You see how my belly goes inside, like ha. That's what you really want to do when you do this breath. So again, give it a try and let me know how it feels to you. You can write to me later on, but I promise you, like, this technique is a yogic technique. It exists in many traditions. And from a yogic perspective, what it does is, it starts to activate our power center, our Manipura chakra. But again, even if you are not into yoga, it doesn't matter. Just go ahead and give this breath a try and notice how it feels for you. Yeah? So these were some things, again, from the emotions chapter, as I said, or in the pillar of emotions, where you really stay connected to your emotions, not just sweep them under the rug, write about them, embrace yourself, embrace your emotions, and you can try this breath. And I'll keep sharing more and more techniques that will all help you stay in that emotional state of balance and equanimity. That's where you want to be, right? Okay. And of course, you want to be in a happy and excited state as well, because we want to be happy and excited because we are here, we have a breath, and we are alive, and we have so much to be grateful for. So that brings me to the third pillar, which is about observing the patterns of the mind. So a lot of times our suffering and stress in our life gets caused by what is happening in our mind. The chatter of the mind causes it. And there are many ways to release the chatter of the mind. One most effective way that you probably all know is to sit and meditate. So I'm going to share with you, so many people ask me, I've been teaching meditation for quite some time, and so many people ask me, but I can't meditate. I don't know how to sit and meditate. This is a very simple technique. I'll be teaching a dynamic meditation technique as well in a moment. But in this one, you just sit, right? You close your eyes, and all you do is you can focus on your breath with your eyes closed. And of course, your mind is going to go at many different places. Maybe your mind will say, oh, let me check the news, pick up my phone. So keep your phone really away from you when you do this, right? And it's okay if your mind has gone somewhere with a thought. The technique of meditation is to bring it back to your breath. So people say, oh, I can't do meditation. It's like, yeah. It's not about whether your mind, this is just the way our minds are, right? Our mind is not going to go blank, like completely. What you're doing is you are creating spaces between your thoughts. And those spaces start to become longer and longer as you meditate. So it'll start with maybe half of a second that your mind will be completely peaceful. And then maybe it'll turn into 1 second. Then maybe for a few seconds. And even those few seconds, even if it goes to 5 to 10 seconds of complete peace and quiet, it can make a huge difference in calming the mind. So, and one of the practices you can do, like anytime you see that you're going into this frenzy and that you're not feeling good about yourself or about your life, or you're feeling stressed, you're feeling angry, whatever it is that you're feeling, I invite you, and of course you know this technique already, this is just a reminder, to write down all the things that you're grateful for. We forget, and I forget it too. Like so many times, like I go into this stage where I'm like, oh my God, life is so terrible, and this is happening and that is happening. And the moment I just have to recognize that, okay, this is happening in me, I'm going into this spiral, spiral, and the only way to get out of spiral is to close my eyes. And again, I invite you to do that. And just, you can say them out loud. I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful that I'm doing this talk right now, I'm grateful for my friends, whatever it is for you. Start to say it out loud. If saying out loud is not your thing, or if you're living with a bunch of people, write it down. Write down, because writing is also a way, because just the way our nervous system works, the act of writing can really interrupt the pattern, and it also helps us remember things longer. So yeah, write things down, and write down the things that you're grateful for in your life. That's a very, very good way to interrupt your pattern. One of the other things what happens is, because maybe a lot of you're feeling stuck right now, right? Oh, I wanted to do this, but I can't do this. Yes, I know we cannot do so much right now, but write down the things that you can actually do. What are the things you can do where you can take action to manage your state? Once you start, like just by watching this talk right now, and even if you did 2 things from all the techniques that I'm sharing, maybe your state will already get better. So think about everything you can do. There are so many free resources right now. Many people are offering free yoga classes, free meditations. Take advantage, right? So when we feel like, oh, this is not possible, there are many things that are possible. So really get your focus onto those things. And this is something you can do, something like funny, and then you can make your own pattern interrupt, right? So pattern interrupt could be, oh, you're feeling like, oh, you feel blah, and there's all this negativity. Okay, what do? You can tap yourself in the head. You can say, no, I'm not going to be in this state. You can go, ah. Or you can have somebody else do it. When you go into negativity, you can start to go into that as well. Or, yeah, I mean, there are so many funny things you can do. One of the funny things I do sometimes is stick my finger in the nose and to jump up and down. This is absolutely just something crazy, something crazy that will bring a smile to your face, and it will interrupt your pattern. So again, give it a try. And make your own pattern interrupt. And it could be as simple as tapping yourself in the head. That's an easy one, very easy to do. Anytime you notice a negative thought arising, tap yourself in the head or go ah, and replace that negative thought with something positive. Either it could be something that you're grateful for, it could be focusing on an action you can take at this time, or just something, just like grateful that thank you that I am healthy and happy at this time. And another thing that works really well to interrupt these patterns of stress is to send loving thoughts to other people. So there are so many people who are maybe sick right now. How about making life bigger than yourself, right? And whenever your negative pattern or you're feeling like not in a good state, take a moment, connect with your heart, close your eyes, and send loving thoughts to anybody who maybe is sick right now. So that is another way you can interrupt your pattern and stay in a good state. You see what happens? Let's just do it all. Whoever is watching, close your eyes, tune into your heart. Take a few breaths into your heart. Just allow your heart to expand. And you can imagine with every breath, your heart is getting bigger and filled up with love of God, love of divine, whatever that is that you believe in, love of nature. And let's do this with a smile on our faces. Take the love in the heart and release it to the people who need it right now. And again, when you do something like that, it's so simple. But just like I'm sending this love out in the universe can make us feel happier about that we are doing something, right? So, and again, find some ways that you can, find some ways that you can contribute into the world right now. Like for me, anytime I feel like my state is going down, I try to share something, either it's sharing something with a friend or teaching a class. That for me, teaching a class is is a way I can easily shift my state, because all of a sudden I become bigger than myself, right? Because now I'm contributing, I'm making a difference, it makes me feel better. So maybe it will make you feel better as well and help you again manage your emotional state when it starts to spiral downward. You never want your emotions to go down, 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 because it gets harder to come back from it. It's important to manage them. The moment you see it spiraling downwards, do something to bring it upwards and upwards and upwards, yeah? So again, just try it for yourself. So these were some techniques to interrupt the patterns of stress, okay? Now comes how you can release stress from the body. So I shared about this a little bit in the self-love, like giving yourself a massage. That can be really good. Because it can really, like, you know, we can carry a lot of stress here, especially in this part of the shoulders and in our neck. So you can just be massaging here. And sometimes you can also hold stress in the belly. So just really massaging your belly, relaxing your belly a lot, that can help release the stress. But a great technique is if you have tennis balls, right? Get 2 tennis balls, put the tennis balls right here, like right here, yeah, and lay on it. So, and then what will happen is you can just start to do a self-massage. The self-massage is really good because we can't go out to get a massage right now. But playing with this tennis balls, that can really, really release tension. And you can just, you know, experiment with these balls. You can put them a little bit below. So you can start here, put them here, and keep going down, like massaging your entire back. And that can really, really be super helpful for releasing the stress from the shoulders and from the neck. And also massaging your jaw, because jaw is another place where we have a tendency to carry tension. Releasing your jaw. I'm going to share this yogic technique with you. It's called lion's breath, and this is a great way, again, to find some silliness. Do this with your kids. You know, if you have kids, I invite you to do this, practice this breath with your kids. It goes like this. Take a big breath and you go, I know I'm showing you the inside of my throat right now, but try this 2 more times, I will show you. So take a big breath, and you can also be like a lion. And this is so good to practice with the kids, you know, because it also brings playfulness in our life. So you're on your hands and knees, yeah? If your wrists are hurting, you can be on your elbows. So, yeah, and then you go, and I do this with my kids, and we just act like a lion, you know, and that just feels really, really fun to do. A great way to release the stress from the face, from the jaw. And in yoga, we also believe that this kind of breath brings shine into the face. So if you want to look pretty, do some lion breath every day. So again, this is something that you can practice. Other technique to release stress from the body. This is a technique I had also shared on my YouTube channel some time ago, but it can go something like this. It's a shaking meditation. So I'm going to adjust the screen a little bit. So you can just kind of stand. I hope you can still hear me, but you can stand with your feet a little bit less than hip distance, and you can shake your body. So like this is called a shaking dynamic meditation. And you can close your eyes. So I'll come a little bit closer. So you can do this with your eyes closed, this shaking meditation. Yeah. And you can combine this with the lion breath that I just showed you. So you're shaking your body, shaking your shoulders, shaking your head, shaking your belly, your hips, the whole body, and you can go, ha, ha. So do it very naturally, like there's no right or wrong in this breath. This can, this really, again, you can do this right now if you feel like it, or you can try it at another time. But this particular breath can really just release stress. Like I just now did it for 20 seconds, and I already feel like things are moving, I already feel better. this is another, like a really a proven technique to release stress from the body, because our body, like whatever is happening in our mind is getting into the cells of our body. So this is a way to release this trauma from our bodies. And this particular technique, shaking technique, is something that you actually see in animals as well. So if you see like how when animals are, go through a traumatic experience, like you take a dog dog who doesn't like water, and you try to give them a bath, what does the dog do? He shakes the water and he runs around and shakes the body, because what they're doing is they're working on releasing the trauma from the cells of the body. So again, I invite you to give this technique a try. It's a very powerful technique and it works super well. So these are some techniques to release stress from the body. Now, the next one is about how you can start, because another way to keep your state at a good level is to, for example, to really use your senses, to awaken your senses. That's what I'm trying to say. What that can do is it can bring you more energy. So for example, a lot of times people eat sitting in front of the TV. It's a completely mindless eating. Now on television or on internet, there is some terrible news, and now you're eating at the same time. And I have made this mistake as well, so no need to feel guilty about it. We all do it. But please, my request is, if you want to keep your emotional state at a higher level, when you eat your food, try to be away from all the devices. Get into a state of gratitude for the food that you're having. And as I suggested earlier, try to keep this food to be a very healthy and nourishing food. And then when you're eating this food, eat it with all your senses. Eat it with love. Eat it with reverence for your body. And eat it, slowly. So you're completely awakening your senses as you're eating this food. So you could have like a little papaya or something, you can smell it. Just slow it down. That's a very, very wonderful way to, again, interrupt the patterns of the stress, because for some time you're going into this pleasurable experience of eating. And that can be a really, really pleasurable experience for some of us. One of the other ways to interrupt the patterns of stress and to feel more alive is to take, if you have a lake close to you or a swimming pool, of course you're one of the lucky ones. I invite you to use that water. Or if you live close to the ocean, and if you can maybe walk to the ocean, just really, water is such a great way to cleanse the stress off, or cleanse keep our emotions at a high level. But if you don't have any of these things, what I invite you to do is to put some cold water on you. So you're taking your warm shower, for a moment, just turn off the hot water and let the cold water awaken all your senses. And what will happen, all of a sudden, when there will be cold water, your body will want to shake, maybe some sounds will come out of you, and those are all a great way to release stress. Just don't get sick. Do it only if your immune system is super strong, right? So, but you will notice, because again, even when you're in a complete, like a working environment or what's happening right now, our bodies can become like that. We can kind of become frozen. So this is a good way to open the body, because that's what we are wanting to do. We are just wanting to be in that state of aliveness. And when we're in a state of aliveness, we just feel happy that, and we become more accepting of what is. Okay? So, and again, as I talked about it, you can be, again, if you have trees around you, connect with the trees, really breathe in, go outside, even if you have a balcony, if you have a garden, or you can go for a stroll, try to spend some time in the sun and try to be outside and doing some breathing techniques. And next I'm going to share with you some breathing techniques that can really help, again, calm your mind, keep your body in a great state, and keep your emotions in check. Okay? So, here is one breath. This is called a fire breath. And in the beginning, if you're new to this breath, do this breath just sitting like how I'm sitting right now. You bring your two hands next to you, so they're next to your shoulders. As you inhale, you go up and open your hands like this. And exhale. Inhale, exhale. So these are forceful inhale and exhale, and I'll show you here. So, again, give it a try. You can do this breath. Sorry, something got stuck in my throat. But you can do this breath pretty much every morning to start your, let's think, kind of like with a clear slate, with your you start in a great state every morning. That's what I do. I do breathing exercises pretty much every morning to be in a good state and to be productive in the day and to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing and to still be happy and be in a state of excitement and aliveness. So this is one breath. It's called Bhastrika. The next breath is called sipping breath. And both of these breaths, they help you increase the energy in the body. So the energy doesn't just come from food, it comes from our breath as well. Breath is a big source of energy. So for this, you can sit on your knees. So like I'm sitting, I guess you can't see me. Let me adjust this a little bit. So you sit on your knees like this, yeah? And this time you make like a straw, and you inhale and so again, if you're watching with me, you can give this a try. We will do it about 5 times. Close your eyes. And you can let the sound come out. Allowing yourself to make sounds is a very good way to release energy, stuck energy. And if you feel embarrassed about it, do this in your bedroom. You don't have to do this or you can invite your family and friends to do it with you. So something like this. So what this does is it really starts to calm down the mind. If I did this breath another 3 to 4 times, I'm going to completely forget what I'm teaching you. So I wouldn't do it for too long, but I hope you get the idea and you can try this breath on your own whenever it feels right to you. What I recommend is to start your morning with some of these practices that I'm sharing with you, especially the breathing practices. And then throughout the day, whenever you feel your state is going down a little bit, you can interrupt these patterns, right? Using the techniques that I have already been sharing. So now I'm going to so this was the 6th pillar, which was about cultivating your energy. The next pillar is about managing your energy. And now what that means is really, and I've already talked about it a little bit. So, for example, managing how you're spending your time. How much time are you spending in front of Facebook, Instagram, and in front of social media or television or other news? Can you cut down on that time? How much time are you spending your time listening to positive things, or are you spending your time again listening to fear-based news? How are you spending your time? Can you start to find some time in your day to do something creative, to maybe draw, maybe to paint, maybe to sing, maybe to prepare a workshop so you can teach yourself? How can you again start to create and contribute? Another thing that you can do is read some really good books, do some online courses, staying with your energy in a higher state. Because you may have noticed, if you spend your time around positive people, you feel good and happy. Now, the moment you go and maybe you talk to somebody else who's not feeling good and they're in that state of feeling like angry and fearful and the whole world is coming to an end, you're also going to start feeling like that. So my invitation to you is to surround yourself with positivity. It doesn't mean that you don't take care of yourself, right? You take care of yourself by feeding your mind and body of positive foods and positive thoughts. So again, this is something really like a technique to manage your state. So these were some of the things that I wanted to share with you today, and I will do a recap so you can again remember some of these techniques and you can start to use them into your life. So I will start with the recap of the first pillar, which is where I talked about self-love and acceptance. Self-love and acceptance, there are many ways, but I shared 3 of them today. One of them was to nurture your body and really being very mindful of what you're feeding your body. The second one was about taking care of yourself and being authentic and connecting with other people. So these are all, again, some of the things you can do to, and also just to remind you that another one that I shared was to be in acceptance of how you're feeling, right? So that's the first pillar. The second pillar I shared around was emotions. Journaling about your emotions, really accepting your emotional state, and then doing something to shift it. So journaling is a good way. Doing the chopping wood breath that I shared is a good way to get that flow of energy. And shifting the patterns of the mind by meditating, by doing some gratitude practice, and interrupting the pattern. So if you remember, we talked about interrupting the pattern. Whenever you have a negative thought coming up, interrupt the pattern. Then we talked about, this is the fourth pillar, about awakening our senses. And you can do that by eating mindfully, eating slowly, eating with all your senses. You can do that by spending time in nature. You can do that by taking some cold water shower. We also talked about releasing stress from the body by doing shaking meditation. We talked about you can bring some roll on the tennis balls. That can really be helpful as well. And and then we talked about doing yourself a self-massage. So massaging your neck. If you don't have tennis balls, you can just do it yourself, just by your hands. And then the last pillar was about how you're spending your time. So being mindful of how you spend your time, and are you spending your time into the negativity, or are you spending your time into doing positive things and doing creative things and reading something and learning something and all of that. So so these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you. I hope that you have gotten a lot from this call, this talk. Again, I invite you to check out my book and see, this book is on Amazon. It's called Pressure to Pleasure, a 7-pillar pathway for living your best life. So you can find this on Amazon. I teach yoga and meditation, and I also have my yoga teacher trainings. So I invite you to look at my website and connect with me. I'm available to answer any questions, to help out. I also do private sessions. So if you need to connect with me for anything, please feel free to connect. I'm here for you. And thank you so much for being here with me. Whoever watched live and whoever will watch it after the video is published, again, feel free to connect. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.